it's Eugenia. So today I thought I would just kind of do a video talking to you guys and I guess just kind of telling you guys how I feel about things right now and kind of some of the stuff that I'm always seeing about myself and kind of how I feel like that can affect me sometimes, and also just like in general how I feel like sometimes like comments like the ones I know I see all the time, and also just sometimes kind of like when you just see so much stuff posted about me or someone or really whoever, just how sometimes I think that can have a really bad effect on people, and it's just something that I want to talk about. So yeah, I kind of feel like it's been a little bit since I've posted a video like this, so I just kind of thought today I would again. I kind of feel like lately, especially kind of since COVID still, I just kind of feel like the internet has been such a crazy place, and I just kind of feel like sometimes like the bullying and hatred and all of that can be so crazy, and I just see so much of it. Bullying is kind of something that I've dealt with like for years and pretty much my whole life, because even before I kind of joined the internet, you know, I dealt with like a lot of bullying in school, and a lot of time I would just kind of like let that go on, I guess, because I always kind of feel bad like being mean back to people, and I never really want to like stick up for myself or defend myself because I just kind of can have a really hard time doing that, and I always feel bad, I guess, kind of like standing up against other people, and I don't want to be mean. So yeah, I kind of feel like even since like leaving school and then coming online, dealing with a lot of negativity and hate online, I guess. It's just kind of something that I've dealt with for years. And it is something that I'm very used to. You know, I get that that kind of comes with, I guess, like putting yourself out there on the internet sometimes. But at the same time, I feel like the level of it and some of the things and like accusations and claims and rumors against me have just gotten like so outrageous. And sometimes just like when I'm reading this stuff, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, do people really believe this? Like, how do people come up with this stuff? And sometimes it's just like I'll see people saying like such awful things and there's just like no truth to it. It's really sad because like even towards those people, I don't wish any bad. You know, I do think sometimes like for people to put themselves out there online and be spreading that kind of hatred and saying those kind of things, that chances are that they might not be very happy within their own life. And I think maybe that's why sometimes people take that out on other people, unfortunately. But I still just really don't think that online bullying is okay, and I just think that sometimes it can really affect people that are, you know, dealing with it like really negatively. I just feel like it's crazy in the world, guys. So again, like I really want to be clear that this is not even just about me. Like I think when you read like suicide rates and stuff like that, it's so sad that so many people have felt like they like couldn't go on anymore to the point that they actually gave up on life. Sometimes I really feel like bullying and saying those kind of things about people is something that really can put people in just much more of a negative mindset and can even drive people to go that far. And I think that's a really serious thing. I kind of feel like because of like how unfortunately sometimes people will treat people, that we've lost way too many people in like humanity. And I don't know, I just feel like that's so out of control. In a way, like a lot of humans have just become like so judgmental without even knowing them or what's going through their mind or how it possibly could affect them by the words that people are saying. And it's okay, you know, obviously to not like everybody or to come across someone that you really don't like online, whatever, you know, that's fine. But I just kind of think like, you know, if you don't like something, you don't have to watch it. There's literally so many other people and so many other things that you can go and watch if watching somebody bothers you. You know, you really, all you gotta do is just like click off the video and that's it. You don't have to see it anymore. But I just kind of think like going out of your way to literally like destroy somebody and like, you know, just like make up horrible things about them and just be really mean. I just kind of think like sometimes that kind of goes to like another level. And like, that's when it's kind of not really an okay thing to be doing. And there really is just so many more positive things that people can go do with their time, and they could just easily go watch something that they do like, or do something more productive and positive, you know? And I just kind of feel like a lot of like accepting, respect, and understanding is just like all lost with so many people. It's crazy because a lot of time I'll see people like in comments and forums and stuff like that, just kind of going around spreading stuff that is not facts. People don't really have proof of what they're saying. And they'll just kind of go like blindly spreading that stuff around. And sadly, sometimes a lot of people will just really be really quick to believe that without even really understanding a situation or what actually happened or the truth behind it. That's really not okay to be doing that and to just be making horrible things up about people that are not true and just, you know, spreading around such terrible stuff sometimes. I just feel like it's wrong because I feel like a lot of people sometimes like kind of don't take the time to actually learn the facts and to actually give someone the benefit of the doubt and give someone a chance. And sometimes it just seems like sadly people want to believe like the absolute worst. Yeah, so I just kind of feel like, you know, that kind of attitude and that kind of way of like looking at things can be really harmful. And I just kind of think that, you know, everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves to be treated like with respect. And sometimes like this like mob or like cancel culture or whatever you want to say, it just seems like it's gotten so crazy and so out of control. And like people are just so fast to kind of almost just like enjoy like wanting to bring down others and just to believe like the absolute worst about someone when like, you know, we're all just kind of people. And sometimes I just feel like sadly like that's kind of all people want to see and want to talk about is negativity. And sometimes I just kind of think it would be so much better if we could just like try to lighten up and be more positive and just take a second to like breathe. Just kind of like, you know, not take things like so serious sometimes and constantly looking for the bad and constantly looking for the negative in others. And I don't know, I just really feel like the world would be so much better if we really could just try to accept and respect each other for who we are, and sometimes just try to see the good in people rather than just always wanting to assume the bad. And just I don't know, I just think like being more positive towards others and being more accepting is a lot better than just kind of constantly trying to judge and destroy somebody. And to me it's just like so crazy because I have such a hard time like being mean to anyone, and I just feel really bad ever possibly bringing another person down. So it's I guess it's just something that like I can't understand, how like people can be so unhappy with their own life that they go and choose to do that and just kind of like join in these mobs and join in on sometimes saying such awful things. I don't know, but I just know that to me that really seems wrong, and that I feel like sometimes like the hate and the mean things that people can say towards other people can really destroy somebody. In my case, like specifically, I am used to hearing a lot of negative things. I really always try my best to not let it affect me too much and not let it get me down. But I feel like sometimes it still can. I feel like sometimes when you're just constantly hearing and reading so many awful things about yourself all the time, then there definitely are days and are moments where it's a little bit hard to not let it affect you. I don't know, I guess like sometimes it just seems like it's just like too much with some things. And you know, I know it's really easy for people to kind of like try to make light of things and be like, well, people put themselves out there, you deserve it. Like, you know, it's really easy for people to just kind of say that. And I kind of understand that, but at the same time, I just still feel like hate can be really wrong when it gets to a certain level, and sometimes when people just go so out of their way to be mean and say bad things about people. And that's where I feel like sometimes it isn't always something to just dismiss and something that should be talked about. I just really hope that people can remember that I sometimes feel like treating people like that just really can destroy people. And that just kind of goes back to, you know, how I just think the world could use a lot more love and compassion. You know, sometimes I feel like the world can already just be such a dark place, and there's actually some really serious things going on in the world that are really bad. And it's kind of like, why just like add on to that negativity and that hatred? And I just kind of feel like if we could all try to put some more love and kindness and compassion into the world, that would really make the world like such a better and more positive place. I know what it's like to kind of be in a really dark and really bad place mentally and how awful that can feel. And that's why that is something that I would never wish on anyone, and I would never want anybody to go through. And I feel like when you're in that kind of really low mindset, it's so important to try to stay positive, but to just kind of like survive it and to make it through all of that like negativity. I know that it definitely isn't always that simple though, and sometimes like you can kind of just like keep telling yourself to be positive, but I feel like sometimes when the negativity and like those negative thoughts just all kind of keep like adding up in your mind, sometimes it can really just be too much and can be so hard to stay positive and to stay in a good mindset, I guess. And I feel like it can just be really easy, especially during those times that you're seeing that, for your mind to sometimes just go to a really bad place. Something that a lot of you guys may have seen that happened to me recently, which sometimes when I am reading some of the rumors or like whatever about myself, it's like such ridiculous stuff. But one of the really outrageous and really ridiculous things that I heard about myself recently is that I wear diapers. So it's kind of a long story, but basically I was on my Instagram story, I was filming. A lot of time I just kind of hold the phone up and like whatever. And I'm not always looking like, you know, around like where my like crotch is or my underwear or whatever we want to call that. So I did have my underwear showing by accident in the video. Now somehow people turned this into, oh my gosh, Eugenia is wearing a diaper girl, things like that. It was crazy. Definitely something I never expected to hear about myself. And honestly, that rumor, guys, is just a really dumb rumor. At first, I did kind of get really upset about it. And some of you guys might have seen that there was a live stream on Twitch, because that's where I stream, if you guys didn't know. There was like some people coming into my chat calling me like diaper girl, asking me really personal like bathroom questions. Like whenever I would try to say, well, I don't wear a diaper, guys, they would just kind of be like, well, we all saw Eugenia, we know that you do. When, guys, not that it was on purpose, because it wasn't, but white underwear is a thing. That is what showed. I wasn't wearing a diaper, just a really stupid rumor. But I don't know, like that night, I just kind of felt like it wasn't even just that. It was a lot of things just kind of like added up. And on top of that, it was a pretty stressful day. And I just kind of like broke down crying. And, you know, for a while I was saying like, oh, this is so stupid. You guys are being so stupid. And I also want to apologize about that, guy, by the way, guys, to anyone that got the wrong idea, because I saw some people saying like it was my fault that I was calling my viewers stupid, this and that. And just to be clear, I would never do that. I was absolutely not calling my viewers stupid. And what I was referring to with any of that, which I'm sorry, I know I kind of maybe did overreact, but all I was referring to when I was saying like the stupid comments were literally the people and comments coming in there accusing me of things that aren't true. Like this whole like saying like, you're wearing a diaper girl, stuff like that. Like those were the comments that I was talking about. There was literally some people on Instagram like photoshopping pictures of me as a baby with like a binky and diapers, and you know like those baby bonnet things? Like they were doing that. It was just really weird stuff. That's all I was trying to, you know, refer to. Alright, so I have this box right here, and I guess that somebody decided, it's kind of crazy to me that some people are going like so far with this, and like someone literally sent me like Pampers in the mail. And that night, I think I just kind of let things get the best of me. Normally, I don't try to show that with myself ever in streams or online. I try to stay above that, I guess, but I don't know. That night things were just really getting to me, I guess. And I also really want to be clear, guys, that do I wear a diaper? No, I don't. But there are some people that do have to wear them, whether they're like elderly or they have certain conditions or whatever. And I would also think it's really wrong, like if somebody did for whatever reason have to be like wear a diaper, to kind of be like mocking them and saying mean things about them. This is also something that I've never really talked about before. Something that might not be surprising to a lot of people, but that I haven't really talked about. And maybe this is something I was thinking of too when I started crying ringing in the back of my head or whatever. So some of you guys might know that I've had my grandma living with me for a while, and my grandma is a lot older. She's been dealing with a lot of like memory problems and things like that. And she kind of is at a point now where she actually does need to wear diapers. So we actually do need to, you know, go and buy diapers for her, and she does need to wear them. Obviously that isn't her fault, but maybe that was something that also kind of like clicked in my head when I started crying. There are reasons that people do need to wear them, and I just think that we really shouldn't put other people down for that. And there's other rumors out there, guys. Like, I've literally seen people call me like horrible things, like call me like a predator and like things like that. And I just also want to be extremely clear that I'm not that type of person. I never would be that type of person. And that is just another one that is so like blown out of proportion with things. A lot of people not getting their facts straight on stuff, and it's just completely 100% not true. I know I definitely have a lot of people that watch me that I think just kind of to hate on me and to bring me down. And, you know, to those people, I just say, like, if you guys want to do that, that's okay. I guess, like, all I can do and all I'm gonna do and what I try to do is not let those people destroy me, no matter what. Like, I would never just kind of, like, leave the internet or even to, like, what these people want just because they want to, you know, try to get me canceled or taken off the internet or whatever. At the end of the day, like, I know I'm never trying to do anything wrong. I think all I can try to do, like, on my end is try to put positivity out there and try to be the best person I can be. I have a really big belief in God, which I definitely think helps me get through a lot. I do like to, you know, try to give like money that I have to charity and just try to do good things in the world. And when I can do things like that makes me feel good that I can possibly help like any sort of good cause and help other people. And that's something I'd recommend maybe to you guys too. You know, like, sometimes I think like trying to do something good really can make you feel good, and it just feels good to try to get to do something like good for the world. So, you know, I'm just trying to be a good person and try to do the best I can in life. And I think like sometimes that can help your mental health too. Just feeling like you can do something good and feeling like you can make any kind of positive impact. And that's also advice that I would definitely want to try to give to anyone ever going through something hard or dealing with a lot of negative stuff or people bullying you or anything difficult. You know, it's just like to try to stay confident in yourself and never give in, like, even when people are trying to put you down or stop you from doing what you want to do. And don't ever give up, no matter what. You know, no matter how hard things might be sometimes, don't ever give up. Always try to keep being positive and keep trying to put positivity in the world. And know that sometimes, even if things might seem really out of control and might seem really bad, try to keep having hope. Know that there is always hope out there, and that no matter what, things really always can get better. And I think sometimes you just have to keep trying to believe in that. I would just say, guys, you know, try to focus on the positive. Try to just kind of like close out the negativity as much as you can and don't let it affect you. But I also think, like, you know, obviously sometimes it's like impossible to completely not be affected by it. So it's okay, I think, to, you know, not always be blind to it, and sometimes to talk about it and just, I think, like, feel those feelings, because I think like sometimes it's kind of impossible not to, you know? All right, you guys, and I guess that's basically what I wanted to say in this video. If you guys like this video, then maybe like sometimes I'll keep doing some of these kind of like talking, more serious videos where I just kind of like talk about things on my mind. I know that a lot of you guys get really curious with some stuff with like my rehab experience and like the aftermath of that and stuff like that. So we'll see, but if that is something that you guys want to hear, maybe in my next serious video I'll get like a little bit more into that. Sometimes it can be kind of scary talking about that, some of that stuff, just for like, you know, there's a lot of judgment on the internet, but you know, I know there's also a lot of really kind people out there. I also want to say, like, you know, such a big thank you to all the people out there that do support me and everyone that always is so kind. At the same time, I'll always see a lot of like really kind, really nice comments too, and always want you guys to know that I'm so thankful for you guys supporting me and being there and staying with me through all the craziness online and all that. All right, you guys, well, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys really soon in my next video. All right, bye guys.